Liezl. We are so excited to have you with us on Life Designed by Her. Welcome to the sisterhood, and thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to meet you.
Well, Liezl, you've got a newborn and a toddler, and I'm going to dive right in because I remember those stages of motherhood for myself so well. But just being a mom to a newborn and having this toddler and life happening, what's been the most challenging part of being a new mom all over again in this season of your life?
So, definitely the most challenging is losing my mom in December. So, I was heavily pregnant and having to go through that. And we were super, super, super close. So, it was just extremely challenging. And being so pregnant and having to just do and juggle everything like packing up her home and planning the memorial and just so many things that comes with that, not even touching on dealing with the loss. That's the most challenging because right after that, basically, like to the day, actually 2 months after my mom passed, my baby was born. So that's not a lot of time. So now to be in newborn life, which is, sleepless nights and crying and all of the things, there's just not actual time to process my mom's loss. And so that is definitely challenge number one that I would say for me personally. And then I think something that's super, super universal is also if you do have another child already and then you have a baby, to navigate, all their emotions and help them figure out what's their little puzzle piece in the family now, because she was the baby all along. So it's about crawling on the floor with her and cradling her like a baby all over again and just giving her that assurance that she belongs and she has a place and it's safe. So I think that's challenge number two because I've never done it before. So I'm just trying to figure it out as we go along.
I love what you're saying, Lise, and I love what you've brought into the room because, like I said, I know what it's like to have a toddler and a newborn as well. And that is quite a challenge. But I really want to just touch on, you said something so significant. You're creating a safe space for your toddler as well. But you've just
Yes.
experienced something so difficult with your mom. How are you creating that safe space for you during this time of mourning while having to be present for your family?
I think for me, I've learned that just healthy habits makes the world of a difference. To get up, get dressed, open the curtains, drink a glass of water. It sounds so silly, but actually those things really makes a difference for me. Making the beds first thing in the morning, that I can walk through the house when I'm holding her and she's maybe being a bit fussy or whatever. I don't have to walk then past beds that's not made and feel completely overwhelmed. Making sure that like toys are picked up after the toddler went to school, like little things like that, just visual stimulation and auditory stimulation to keep those things at a super low is one way that I really do know that I can take care of myself. So that is a practical thing. And then for me, my faith really plays a major role in my life. So to just really try and connect with the Lord. And in the morning, even if I can only put my phone somewhere in the house and put the speaker loud enough so I can hear it and have a podcast playing or just something that I can just think of him, focus my mind on things above, that really just brings me back to, okay, this is hard. This is really hard. It's really hard to deal with that loss. It's really hard to have to hold my baby and look at her and think, my mom can't do this. So it just plays out in the day. Um, but to bring the Lord near, um, even when he feels far, maybe at some points in the day, that is a big way that I do that and create that safe space for me and reaching out to friends that can pray for me.
Oh, please don't look at me. I'm a mess, I swear, because our mothers are often the ones for us as moms, and we have careers and or
Yeah.
you're looking after the home. your mother creates that safe space for you. And I pray for God's healing and his comfort. Thank you for sharing that
Mhm.
with us. But what is the one thing that has been the most rewarding part of motherhood for you? Because it is hard, that's the reality. But there is also
It is.
a reward that we can't quite put into words. So what's been the most rewarding part for you?
The most rewarding part for me is to see the connection. I'm so in love with seeing the connection between my toddler and my baby, and the way like they just love on each other. Like my toddler literally like loves to cuddle her little nose into my baby's hair, and like, oh, my heart. And also my husband, just seeing him connect with our baby. And so the connections and me connecting with my baby, with my firstborn, a month after her, we went into lockdown, and I had really bad postpartum depression. So I didn't really have that super, I don't know, connected feeling on the inside. Like I knew it, I knew that we were connected, but to get my heart there every day was such a challenge. And with this baby, I'm just really so thankful. I'm so thankful that I get to experience that with her and just hold her close and feel that connected. So I think the overarching theme is connection. That has been the most rewarding part, is us like connecting as a family.
Liezl, you've touched on a couple of things here. And I mean, this is another conversation, another whole conversation for another day. But even just the fact that our children can usher, God can use our children to usher in healing into our lives, that is just magnificent. And I think that's one thing I miss about my girls as well. In fact, and this is where I think mothers play such a critical role, and dads as well, is facilitating that relationship. They are so close. They are so close at 10 and 7 years old. And it's the most beautiful thing to see. And as moms, we have the privilege of guiding that friendship that
Yeah.
siblings share. But Liezl, you touched on your husband just now, and I wanted to ask you, what's been an unexpected but welcome surprise concerning your relationship with your hubby?
Yeah, if I think of parenthood and just the change of having a new little baby, or even just when we had our firstborn, I'm so happy to see how together we're in it. You just never know actually how it's going to go if you're not in it. You know, you can talk about it and all of that too, but to practically live things out day to day can be so different from words, you know. And I think as a society and as women, we're sometimes seen as the like first caretaker, and then the hubby does what they want to do, and you know, and he's not like that at all. Like he's super hands-on. Like we're really in it. We're in it together. We're like the middle of the night wakings, the everything, every single thing. There's a togetherness. And yeah, I love that. I'm so thankful.
What is the
Yes.
one thing you wish you'd known before becoming a mom that you turn around and you go, and I asked this question because my cousin said to me, she became a new mom. Two of them became new moms last year. My one cousin turned
Yeah.
around and said, "You never told me this." So what's that one thing for you?
My one thing that I wish someone told me is how loud it can get. Like, I get overstimulated so fast, especially auditory, like visually also like a lot, but auditory, oh man. And with my firstborn, I had the postpartum depression. We were in COVID, so we couldn't leave the house for months and months and months. And she had colic. So she was screaming and crying. And woo, that is what I wish someone told me, is it can get loud and overwhelming, and it's gonna be fine. But in the moment, you're gonna feel like you are falling apart.
Oh, bro,
That's what I wish.
I'm so glad you didn't fall apart because you're here and you're with baby number two. So I'm so glad you didn't. But 100%, it can get loud. Trust me. We just talk about it. It's
Yes.
still loud.
Why and why and why
Oh.
and why this, and but why this? Well, I can do conversation. I cannot do screaming. That's the thing for me. Laughter, dancing, singing. Like we sing all the time in the household. But screaming is my one thing that I'm like, I can't deal.
I
It's
promise you, it's
crazy.
gonna go. It will go. But Liezl, being where you are right now and just listening to your experiences, having that first baby during lockdown, losing your mom when you're highly pregnant with your second one, navigating this road with a toddler and a newborn without mom by your side, what's the one piece of advice that you would like to give to new moms?
Oh, one piece of advice. I think my piece of advice would be to take deep breaths. Um, Breathe deep. Your baby has never humaned before. I know it's not a word, but they haven't. It's a completely new thing. Like, here I am, and now what do I do? But you've also never been a mom. So just have grace with yourself and breathe. Like, actually do breathing exercises. I kid you not. But at the same time, have grace. Like, you're trying to have grace with your little baby that's learning how to do things, and you're doing exactly the same thing actually as well as a new mom. So try and extend that same grace to yourself.
Oh, that's beautiful. Extend grace to yourself as a new mom. And we just touched on it now, but as our children grow, what is something that you think you're looking forward to embracing as your journey along motherhood just grows?
So I'm really, really looking forward to just creativity in our household. I'm a very creative person. So things I actually like daydream about and look forward to is painting with them and singing, and like just like doing all of those musical things and just creative expression, and seeing how they express themselves creatively and encouraging that. So that's definitely one thing. And another thing would be the foundations that we are laying, that we can keep building on that as a family unit, and that we can enjoy the fruit of that as we go along, and just form this safe, secure place of belonging for each of us, to know that we have a voice, that we have this unit that is completely safe and secure, and that can really be like the stepping stone for them when they grow up and have to leave the nest. Not yet, but you know what I mean. I like to just make those foundations strong, and that's something I look forward to, is to building those foundations that we can really just lean into them when the times get rough, and because life happens. And yeah, so that's something I look forward to as well.
And with your focus being there, that's exactly what's going to happen. You'll see that building happening just because you're intentionally focused on it. And then the last question that I have for you, you've been through the early stages of motherhood, you're in it again. What is the one thing that we can do, as a tribe of women around new mothers? Because with my girls being the age that they are, for example, you do forget certain things for new moms. But what is the one thing that you would like to tell the tribe of women around new mothers? How can we best support them?
I think the one thing that I would say is check in. I think it can get super lonely, and everyone carries on with their lives and go to work and all of that, and they forget that you're at home alone for maybe 7, 8 hours with a newborn, and they might be teething, and you know what I mean? Like, it might get difficult or just lonely. So I think the thing would be check in. Like, if you think of your friend, or if you think of someone that's a new mom, just send them a message. Hey, thinking of you. It doesn't have to be this long, elaborate thing. Or go over for a cup of tea, even if it's for 30 minutes, and hold the baby so she can just have her arms again or something. But yeah, I think that would be my big thing, is keep checking in. It really does make a world of a difference.
I love that. And that's such a beautiful wrap up to our conversation, is that sometimes we overcomplicate things and we think we need to do this for our friend and that from our friend, when all they really need is that safe space that we can bring as friends. And that can be as simple as a text message. Liezl, you're amazing. You look magnificent for bringing your heart to the conversation. We appreciate you so much.
Such a pleasure. I really enjoyed talking to you, and yeah, just hearing your heart on motherhood. It's really, really awesome.
Losing track of time. Let's stay a while up close and personal.